We're on.
All right. Hey.
Hi.
What are we talking about?
Today we're talking about sociopaths in media and in real life. So, really?
Hi.
Really? The first words out of my mouth and then it's like, cat.
I know.
Alright, why did we want to start? Why did we want to talk about sociopaths? I think we just find them fascinating, right?
I mean, for me, it's serial killers.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much the same thing in most cases. Yeah, I think, well, you like serial killers who are often sociopaths.
Yes.
And I find most mental illnesses that are not the general ADD or anxiety or depression, I find that all really fascinating. Mostly because I have like social anxieties and I want to know kind of who I'm dealing with. So
yeah.
I'm going to point out and be like, you're a sociopath.
We should talk about schizophrenia one day so I can talk about Charles Manson.
Oh my God. I know nothing about schizophrenia. That's like the one that I know nothing about. I know more about sociopathy and I know a lot about like bipolar and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly the social disorders.
Yeah.
Schizophrenia is not a social disorder.
No, not the slightest.
So I guess I'll start with my sociopathy in media.
Yeah.
What I found in a lot of the cases is that in movies and TV and stuff, they get sociopath and psychopath combined or mixed up, and so it's kind of hard to actually find a legitimate sociopath in movies or TV because they're like, I'm just gonna murder everybody. I'm like, that's not what sociopaths are about.
No.
A lot of the times sociopaths are less violent and more manipulative psychologically, and they can actually form bonds.
Yeah.
Unlike psychopaths. Actually, I was reading a study. I know I'm going to get into your talking points, but like what I was reading a long time ago is that psychopath is not an actual diagnosis. But anyways, and then in media, I found that when it's a man psychopath, that's more violent, and when it's a woman, it's more like, I'm going to wreck your soul kind of mental manipulation. And then also in media, whenever they're considered high functioning in any case, they're less violent or less manipulative. Or in the case actually of women, they're more manipulative.
Oh yeah.
So like men high functioning is like barely noticeable. But then if it's a woman, they're like an uber bitch.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So my male examples of great, I don't want to say great sociopaths, but of more well-known sociopaths, I can say a lot, but there are two that stand out most commonly, and that is one of them is Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs.
We got it.
We got the meow. Oh God. Even though he is a violent character, he is still in the descriptions as high functioning, just because he can actually communicate his methods and his madness, and he can actually, I don't know if we can go so far as to say that he can create bonds, because he tends to just use people, which in sociopathy is their own way, right?
Yeah, for Hannibal Lecter, everything he does is very calculated.
Yeah. Down
to the words he says to people.
Yeah, well, because he's manipulating them to do what he wants.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, in the movie, he is helping Clarice hunt down Buffalo Bill because he is psychopath. He is a psychopath. He is the physical embodiment of scary and demented. Mm-hmm. Whereas Hannibal Lecter, he is everything. He can kill, and then he can also befriend, and then kill that person, and it goes on. And so it's hard for why it is such a great character, I guess, is because you really start to believe that maybe he's a good guy.
Yeah.
But then what he says, it's also like, no, you seriously fucked up.
Yeah.
You are fucked up. The second one that everyone should know at this point is Sherlock Holmes. And speaking of like confusing psychopath and sociopath, there's that really famous quote that I don't know if is it in the books?
I think it's just
Is it just
TV show.
the BBC?
Yeah.
Where he says, I'm not a psychopath, I'm a high-functioning sociopath. Going back to that, the more high-functioning they are, the less... I'm not going to say dangerous, because he's still pretty dangerous. The less violent they can be.
Yeah.
So instead of committing the crimes, he's solving them. But in doing so, he's erratic and unpredictable and impulsive. And when he hurts people, he still doesn't understand why or how they can allow themselves to be hurt, because in his head, it's logical. He hurt their feelings for a purpose, so they shouldn't be offended.
Yeah.
Which, that's not right.
Nope.
But also going back to Lecter and Buffalo Bill, his big bad is Moriarty, and Moriarty is definitely more of a psychopath because he is chaos. Mm-hmm. He is destruction and hurting and impulsive, and he can't attach to anybody. And even though it seems like he has the attachment to Sherlock, it's just a game. Yeah. There's no actual, like, he doesn't care if Sherlock lives or dies. It's all for his own personal amusement. And then moving on to the female examples, I wrote here, in the real world, there are not many female sociopaths. And then when they are portrayed in media, they usually are sexualized. So, like, they use their sexuality to get and manipulate men or women to get what they want. The main example that I can think of is Annie Wilkes from Misery. I mean, she has no sexuality. Did you not see that?
Nope.
The Stephen King?
Nope. With
the bricks and the hammer and the ankles?
Nope. I know.
Anyways, it's a classic. But did you ever see Gone Girl?
Nope.
Oh my god.
I know.
That's another one. Well, that was
I just don't like female-led anything. Female-led anything.
I mean, I guess Gone Girl wasn't really advertised as a female-led.
Didn't it have Angelina Jolie in it?
No.
No?
Had... That's Girl Interrupted.
Ah! Yes.
No, Gone Girl is the one with Ben Affleck and his wife gets murdered, but they can't find her body, and...
This is probably in the time where I didn't care about movies.
It's also a book.
I knew that part.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. But
I didn't read the book. I only saw the movie. But in any case, it's fucked up. And that girl is really fucked up. I don't know if I want to spoil the plot, but you find out really early in both the book and the movie that, like, she's not actually dead.
Yeah.
She was just trying to make it. She was so unhappy with her life that she set him up to it looked like he killed her. And in all of this, she does such an amazing job at manipulating everybody. So, like, at first it's like, oh, I'm the innocent victim. And then it's like, no, I did this on purpose. Here's why. And here's why I'm going to get away with it. I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything else. But she is probably one of the best. I mean, because in that one, she uses both just manipulation, mental, and sexuality. In some cases. It's actually not prominent at all. But yeah, the author made a really good sociopath. The second female sociopath, I don't know why. I said earlier, I was like, stereotypical women who are sociopaths use sexuality, but both of my examples don't use sexuality.
Nope.
I think I was specifically, what was that movie with Sharon Stone? I don't remember. Dangerous Liaisons. Maybe that was Glenn Close. But, like, the one with Sharon Stone and the one with Glenn Close, both were, like, sexual deviants who used their shit to get their way. But if you haven't seen Devil Wears Prada,
I have.
Okay. I was gonna say, that's a pretty common, like, she doesn't care who she fucks over, she doesn't care what she does or what she says because she is the best, which is also another example of sociopaths in both real life and media, is that sociopaths can get really high up any ladder if they really try and they don't give a shit. Nope. I mean, I feel like a lot of my bosses were sociopaths.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's probably what they were evolved to do. Sociopaths have evolved to be leaders. Maybe not leaders, maybe just rulers.
Of some sort. Yeah. Yeah, sociopaths are pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
They can really fuck up people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've known a lot of female sociopaths or if, like, I created female sociopaths, because I've been fucked over by a lot of women in ways that I'm like, do you just not care that you hurt me? Did I fuck you up that much? Or did I don't know. That's going down a road I don't want to go down. So anyways, I'm done.
Okay.
What is your pristine notes on sociopathy? Yeah.
They're definitely pristine. I totally didn't fall asleep.
They're pretty. I like your notes. They're like all bullet pointy and...
So, sociopathy is kind of derived from a diagnosis of antisocial personality disorder, which I definitely copied in my notes.
Yeah,
off of the Mayo Clinic, which is fine because I'm not a doctor. But basically, it's kind of just the disregard for right and wrong. They're not incapable of feeling emotion, but they definitely know how to manipulate it.
Yeah.
They're uncaring towards emotion.
I don't know if the things that I've read said they didn't care about emotional manipulation. I think they use it in such a way that they get...
Yeah, they're uncaring towards other people's emotion. Yeah. That's how they're able to manipulate it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they lie a lot. They're very deceitful.
If they get caught, though, I know that, like, I've known a few, or I've heard a couple stories about sociopaths in my life that have gotten caught. And I don't know if they care, but they definitely, like, do a lot to fix it.
They get mad.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they know what anger is.
Yeah.
Which is a secondary emotion. Yeah. So, but yeah, they'll definitely fix it. Mm-hmm. And then they'll start the cycle over again.
Yeah. To try to get away with it again.
Exactly.
Bullshit.
Yeah. And how they restart the cycle is using their charm. Yeah. They're very, very fucking charming. Mm-hmm. And I was reading this thing that was like 7 ways to spot a sociopath. It was one of those stupid bullshit articles.
Yeah. Cosmo.
Yeah, exactly. It was basically saying that they are the spotlight of not only one room, but of every room. Yeah. And every situation. It's always them. Yeah. So they're very charming. Mm-hmm. Everybody likes them. And that's kind of for me, it's kind of a weird red flag when every single person ever likes somebody. There's not a single person that has a bad thing to say about them. Yeah.
Well, I actually have the same reaction to stuff like that. Yeah. Like we were talking about how when an actor gets too big, I don't like that actor. I'm like, all y'all like this person and I don't fucking know why.
It's have you seen the meme where it's like when the person everybody likes fucks up, mm-hmm. and it's that weird bird with like the flip up ears thing, and it's like, I fucking knew it. It's like its ears are all popped up. I have to show that to you. I'll post it somewhere so that everyone knows what I'm talking about. Okay. But it's so fucking, it's just like, fucking knew it. So yeah, they're very charming, but they're also very arrogant. Mm-hmm. They're very, my opinion is better than yours in all points. Yeah. This one, the next bullet point's kind of like a here and there because mm-hmm. it depends on the person, but they're very, they've got a lot of problems with the law, which can also not be true. Yeah.
That's more, it would probably be more on the less functioning sociopath.
Yeah, exactly. The more violent sociopath. Yeah. They can be hostile mm-hmm. and irritable, very aggressive, which is the more low functioning. Yeah. They, like we talked about, lack of empathy, not really responsive to other people's emotions, which helps them manipulate it. Risk-taking and dangerous, which this is all anti-social personality disorder. Poor abusive relationships.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fucked up. Because they're going to groom you until they fuck you up. It's true.
Or they can groom you until you are the kind of person that they want to be around.
And you're just a zombie.
Pretty much.
At that point, you're not yourself anymore. They don't learn from any negative behavior.
Yeah.
Because they don't see it as a negative because it's all calculated in their own heads. And then
that's exactly what I wanted to have happen.
Exactly. Yeah. And the last one, which can be counterintuitive to what we talked about, how they're always on top.
Yeah.
But they can definitely be consistently irresponsible and constantly failing to fulfill work or financial responsibilities and obligations. Yeah. So that doesn't really coincide with always being on top, but it's definitely part of that antisocial personality disorder. And like you talked about, they're not always violent. That's a big one right there.
What are you doing?
What? I'm screwing with my pants because I'm nervous.
I can hear it.
I'm sorry. I was talking to Sam about these notes, and he's like, you guys should probably reference your sources or else you're going to get fucked. I was like, I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just casually talking about the shit that we find on the internet, which, as we all know, could be wrong.
Exactly. Which
this is
why
just
I
our
say,
opinions.
Yeah, I say don't take anything I say.
Yeah.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Exactly.
I'm generally wrong.
We are opinionated, and we don't have our sources to back us up.
Right?
So
I did say that I copied this off Mayo Clinic, though.
Yeah.
So
source. And I used like Entertainment Weekly.
The first 3 pages of Google have told me. So when we get down into, you talked about media, the sociopaths in media and stuff.
Yeah, male and female.
Yeah. My female bullet points are very short, but
Again.
my male bullet points are generally pretty long. So a couple of real life sociopaths, which I'm hoping that if you're listening to this, you have some sort of knowledge of these sociopaths.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, go look them up because they're fucked up. First one is our lovely John Wayne Gacy.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. I'm gonna dress up like a clown. And everybody loved him. He did great at work. He, whenever he would get into spats and stuff, people would he would be like, that didn't happen. He would have all this proof to back it up, and they'd be like, oh, well, then I guess it's not him.
Ugh, I hate those people. Oh my god, there's like, I mean, maybe it's that. Like, maybe I hate that there are certain people, because I was saying to you earlier today that I was like, no, maybe it wasn't earlier today. Anyways, but like, I don't want to see the movie Unsane. Because it's literally a movie about trying to convince people
that's fucked up,
that you're not crazy, or you're not, like, when someone's like, no, I saw them get murdered, don't go into that shed, and the person's like, I'm just gonna go in anyways. And I'm like, here's all my proof, why are you not listening to me? Yeah,
exactly. And so, as we kind of know, they didn't really catch Gacy until there was absolute proof of it. And then they went into his house, found all those bodies, found all of the trophies he kept of his victims, shit like that. Yeah, it was great. All in his basement. 32 young men, and most
32? I thought that was a lot less.
I mean, it was between like 28 and 32.
Ugh.
Somewhere in there. Some were buried in his kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Some in the crawl space. A lot in the crawl space.
Didn't this house smell?
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah, and people would come investigate, and they'd be like, why does your house smell? He'd be like, oh, vermin, or some other shit. Yeah. So, he is one of the most famous sociopaths to walk the earth. Because if you think about his backstory, he was a clown. He performed for kids. Mm-hmm. He was a construction worker. He did all sorts of really, really
social and outgoing things.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was renowned as a good dude. He was married multiple times, I think he was. I know he was married at least once. But he was, like, the community thought he was a really good dude because he was really charming and he played it off. Yeah. But then when they caught him, people were like, oh, there were weird things that tied him to these disappearances. But so, yeah, he's one of the most famous and well-known sociopaths in history, at least for American history. Ted Bundy's another one, and he's based in our lovely Seattle. Yeah. Did I tell you that my friend's mom ran in with him?
Ran into him?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, so my friend's mom, they were telling me the story about how she was walking her dog, and Ted Bundy walked up to her and the dog did not like her. Like, didn't like Bundy. And so she was like, well, I gotta go. Like, this
Thanks,
is cool,
but no.
but no. Yeah, because her dog didn't like her.
Yeah.
And then he popped up on the news, and she was like, holy shit. Yeah. So, listen to your dogs, guys.
Dogs know. We were talking about this earlier, when animals are like, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah. Always listen to your fucking animals. But, so my notes on Bundy are a little shorter. But it basically says Ted Bundy was an attractive, charismatic young man living in Seattle in the 1970s. He would lure women with his charm.
Yeah.
And they would be brutally beaten and murdered by his own hands. And he never got away with it. Well, I mean, he got away with it. No. He never got caught. And then he ended up getting caught.
Yeah.
So they were saying, like, he didn't get away with it. Or he got away with it. God! My words.
Brain no worky.
Hello. He got away with it for a really long time.
Yeah.
But then he finally got caught. And everyone was like, holy shit, I know that dude.
Yeah.
And it ended really bad for him. Because don't get caught for murder. That's just all I have to say about that. I don't actually know this guy. Yeah, I don't actually know him. I haven't heard his story, so I'm just going to read this off word by word here. Jeffrey McDonald had power and admiration as an officer in the Green Berets, a medical doctor, and a family man. He was a husband, the father of 2 daughters. Oh, I remember this actually. He was the father of 2 daughters, and he had another child on the way, and he was self-obsessed. He was a narcissistic sociopath, which is the worst kind of fucking sociopath. And he murdered his wife and daughters.
Yep.
That's the end of his story right there. Yep.
Just a bad guy.
Pretty
all
much.
Around bad guy.
Bad fucking dude.
My friend Dahmer.
Yay! I was just gonna say, we're gonna tie each other in here and talk about Jeffrey Dahmer. And I don't know why my notes on him are so short. Probably because I was so tired and fell asleep.
And everyone knows Dahmer's story pretty much.
I hope they do.
Yeah. Look that shit up.
Well, Dahmer was... I have definitely read stories that basically say, or like opinions that basically say, if Dahmer hadn't been so fucked over as a kid, he wouldn't have been this way.
That's like saying you have a choice in being gay.
That's true.
I mean...
what you said is not true.
No.
But that's true to your statement.
Yeah. So, like, the fact that he had a fucked up childhood...
Turned him into a fucking murderer.
Into a psychopath, sociopath.
Yeah.
That's basically like saying you have a choice.
Yeah. But Jeffrey Dahmer's case, he wasn't charming. He wasn't well liked.
Oh, yeah. I still haven't seen that movie.
You don't even have to see it.
No.
No. So Jeffrey Dahmer had, like, one friend. And I guess people tried to be friends with him, but he was so deep in the antisocial part of the disorder that he didn't have any fucking friends. Yeah,
just based on, like, things I've seen about him, he was very much on the not functioning sociopath.
Yeah, exactly. And so he definitely, like, tortured and dismembered animals.
Yeah, that's
fucked
the
up
first
people.
thing.
Yeah. So, he was considered the Milwaukee Cannibal. And apparently it's not even apparently, he raped, murdered, dismembered, and sometimes ate 17 boys and men in the 70s and 80s.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
I haven't,
Is that out?
The My Friend Dahmer? Well, but I have it downloaded.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to watch that.
There's another movie that when I was doing my research, I found the sociopath in the movie, and I haven't seen it, but we need to talk about Kevin. It's based on a book.
I think I've heard of that.
It's got Tilda Swinton and then the guy who plays the most current Flash in Justice League. I don't know, Ezra Miller. I think that's his name. Anyways, but
I know him. Ezra Miller. I know that name.
He apparently it's a really fucked up story about how it's basically telling the story of this mother who sees all the warning signs of his son becoming a sociopath.
Yeah.
And apparently it's like one of the most realistic depictions of what sociopathy does to your family.
Yeah. I think I saw a trailer for that.
Yeah. I've seen the trailers, and I had it downloaded a long time ago, and I think It might be on like Amazon Prime, but I don't know. I haven't seen it, and it looks like one of those ones where you have to be kind of in the mood to watch something dark and depressing.
Yeah. Ugh. Speaking of movies that are going to come out, I mean, that movie's already out.
Yeah.
But they're making a Ted Bundy movie. I think we talked about this before.
Oh yeah, it's Zac Efron.
It's Zac Efron, and it's from the perspective of Ted Bundy's girlfriend.
Yeah.
The one who turned him in.
Yeah. I remember actually I read an article recently about how when Zac Efron was making the change into Ted Bundy, he was like, I will only go so far. If I go too far, it's so fucked up.
You can't method act Ted Bundy. You
No.
can't method act sociopaths.
Well, that was actually another example that I was going to put was Heath Ledger and the Joker.
I was thinking about that too.
But that one's pretty hard to talk about just because like he method acted until he died. Yeah. And he took it too far. And even Jack Nicholson gave him the advice. He's like, don't do it. Don't go that far. And if you can, just deny the role because it will fuck you up.
Yeah.
And
he was really fucking devoted to it.
Yeah.
And that's
the best Joker to me, honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, yeah. I love Mark Hamill and I love his voiceovers, but I think that in person, like the actual figure of the Joker to me will always be Heath Ledger.
Yeah. The only problem I have with Joker as a sociopath is he has a lot of psychopathic tendencies.
Yeah, and that was why I think I didn't put him, is because honestly, I consider him more of a psychopath just because he's both violent and erratic and impulsive, and he's just doing it all for fun. He actually really reminds me of like Moriarty. Yeah. Who is a psychopath.
Yeah, except Moriarty doesn't care if Sherlock dies. Joker doesn't want Batman dead.
Yeah, because he just wants to play with him.
Yeah.
Like a little play toy, like a kitty.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I like Joker as an example, but I think he's more psychopathic. Yeah. But fucking tragic. Oh. Heath Ledger, awful.
Every time I watch 10 Things I Hate About You, I'm always like, oh, he's dead.
Oh, for me, it's Megorium. Mr. Megorium? No. The Wonder Emporium? Mr. Megorium?
Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium.
Yeah, for me, it's that, because when they change over the actors is when I realize, I'm like, oh, fuck, you're right, he died. And it was really fucking cool that all those actors stepped up. Yeah. That was really cool.
That was an unexpected movie. Yeah. I really liked that movie.
Yeah. I thought that was just an awesome movie. My real life female sociopath list is definitely shorter. Yeah. Going from 4 of the most notable male sociopaths to 2 females.
Who I've never heard of.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of them either until now. So I don't know how much I can say about these women. The first one, her name is Diane Downs. She wanted to date this guy who didn't want children, so she killed her fucking kids. Jesus. Yeah. Really? To get what she wanted, which was him, she murdered her children.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And it's as short as that.
That's just her story.
That's it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And then I should have looked into this guy. So her name is Deirdre Hunt. Mm-hmm. She played an equal role with Constantine. I'm going to get this name totally wrong. Paspalakis? Yeah. Yeah. In torturing and murdering a young man, and they videotaped the whole thing just so they could rewatch it.
I wonder if the reason why women in real life, sociopaths, aren't really noted is because they work mostly with men. Maybe. Like, as you were saying all this, I was going over in my head all the recent, like, really terrible stories that have been coming out about these couples who killed their kid by, like, murdering them or by freezing them because they weren't eating or something like that.
You know who I think is good for the list of sociopaths? That fucking family. What was their name? The family with like the 14 kids.
Oh, the one that And That's Why We Drink was talking about?
Yeah, they had all these kids, and all of the daughters looked just like their mother, and all the sons looked just like their father. And I think that's a narcissism thing. But when they lived in like Texas, I think it was Texas, after they moved, they went and, like, the landlord and stuff went into the house and they found all of the, like, there was shit everywhere.
Yeah.
And all the, there was, like, the, restraints that were, like, attached to the bed and stuff. The locks on the fridge. Like, I don't know if that's, like, a psychopath thing or if that can be a sociopath type of thing.
I have no idea. Because I know that one was based off of a religion.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look it up.
I can't think of what they're called now. Yeah.
Turpin family.
Yes.
Is that it?
It was Turpin. Jesus.
Yeah, they had 13 starved and tortured children.
The father got, what's the word I'm looking for? Charged for molestation of one of the children. At
least, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, ages 2 to 29, found malnourished with some in shackles. Their bail was set at $9 million.
And I think they have to pay the full bail.
Yeah.
There's no 10%.
Betty Turpin said her son told her he had so many kids because God wanted him to. She said her son shared her Pentecostal Christian faith, but he wasn't affiliated with the church in California. So the mother of the husband who did this to his kids.
God, there's something they're called, though.
The Pentecostal.
No, it was a different word.
Was it a different word?
Yeah. Quiverful.
Quiverful?
Yes.
So they were...
It is a movement of conservative Christian couples, widespread in the United States, that basically says they can't use birth control or anything, and if they procreate, then they're building God's army.
Well, that's most religions. I mean, it's probably more extreme with the quiverful, but like Catholicism, they don't allow them to use birth control of any kind.
Yeah, it says the movement sees children as a blessing from God, and it encourages procreation, abstaining from all forms of birth control and sterilization. They're known as quiverful, full quiver, quiverful-minded, or simply QF Christians. 2006 estimate puts the number of families subscribing to this philosophy as in thousands to low tens of thousands.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah. Their motivations are obedience to God, the missionary effort. If they have more children, then they can spread the word of God. They basically want to grow the population and demographic. So in my brain, I'm not sure if maybe they're just narcissists.
Yeah.
Or if they're psychopaths. Or if they're narcissistic sociopaths.
I don't know either. I don't know what... I think it might be narcissistic anything, just because I think religion is always self-serving.
Well, so my viewpoint for the narcissistic point is the sons look like their father. They dress like their father, had the same haircut as their father, and the daughters looked exactly like their mother. But also the parents' story is really fucked up because they apparently eloped and she was super fucking young. And he was like in his late 20s, I think I read. And she was still in her teens.
Oh.
Maybe he's a sociopath.
I think, yeah. I just Googled cult sociopathy, and apparently any leader of a cult is a character, has all the characteristics of any level of a sociopath. None of them are psychopaths because none of them, most of the time, none of them are violent. But
what was the leader's name of the Kool-Aid? What was his name?
Don't drink the Kool-Aid. I don't know. It was a Kool-Aid cult. Jim Jones.
Thank you. He was a sociopath.
Definitely.
Like, everyone's like, wow, that fucking psychopath. And I'm like, no. Because all the way down to the Fako drills that they would do, being like, oh, they found us.
Yeah.
All the way down to that. The whole thing is calculated.
It's all terrible.
So he's absolutely a sociopath.
Yeah. Yeah, he was able to literally manipulate people into killing themselves for a greater purpose of his own making.
I mean, it was definitely because he was like, he planted this whole thing, and then he was like, oh, they found us, they're going to kill us. Yeah. So we have to kill ourselves. Yeah. And they had been doing these Kool-Aid drills, so they thought it was a drill.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So...
Ugh. That's so depressing because it's real.
It fucking happened. Jonestown.
Shit.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
But so they did these drills, and he would wake them up with like alarms and sirens and shit, basically being like, "They found us. They're gonna kill us. Blah blah blah. They're gonna take us away. They're gonna hurt our families. Stuff like that." He would make them drink Kool-Aid that wasn't fucking cyanide Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, when they all woke up to this, like, oh, this thing happened at the airport, it was really bad, blah, 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 they thought it was another drill, so they drank. Yeah. It's fucked up.
On that happy note.
On that happy note, that's my women. That's it.
Your women?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I like that. I like these educational topics.
It's good.
Yeah.
Stay away from sociopaths. I can tell you from experience. Stay the fuck away.
I mean,
depends.
Give everyone a chance.
Depends.
It depends, though. I mean, there are a lot of red flags that we could go over, but that would be so long. A lot of red flags for sociopaths.
That's true. Yeah. And if you ignore the red flags for long enough, they are like the size of this closet.
Yeah.
And smacking you in the face.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think the limit is? Like, if you think that someone you know is a sociopath, give them, 5 chances? Maybe 3?
Take 2 away.
Yeah.
When?
Stop coming in and out. Jesus. Just lay down. Go over there and lay down. Hi. I'm just hitting her in the head. It's fine.
It was funny because when I ran in with my sociopath and he wasn't violent or anything, everybody told me first. They were like, he's a sociopath. He was a sociopath, yeah. And then after 4 years of him manipulating me and stuff like that, after I finally got out of it, I was like, wow, that fucking guy was a sociopath. Like, Jesus. So. Yeah. I think we've all had our histories with sociopaths. Probably.
And I feel like most people, it is a history because they move on and get out.
Yeah, and whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
It's like, this dude was a bad fucking dude, or this chick really fucked me up.
Exactly.
They could have been a sociopath, and you just didn't know.
Yeah. Be careful, guys. Don't get murdered in your sleep. Anyways, are we done?
I think so.
Awesome.
Are we doing recommendations today?
I think so. I mean, I can recommend a show that I'm watching called The Fall. It's I might have mentioned it before, but it's an Irish-based serial killer drama thriller. It's got Gillian Anderson.
I like her.
And she is hot.
Yes.
She is in that show, she is a take no prisoners, men are my bitches kind of woman.
I love her.
And it's like,
we're getting married.
Yes. But yeah, that show's really good. So it's The Fall. It's a Netflix original, but it might be one of those like integrated Netflix originals where like originally it was a BBC original and then they moved it to Netflix for the United States. But I don't know. The Fall.
I tried to look up Google images of it and it's giving me food.
The Fall?
Yeah. Gillian Anderson. The Fall. Stupid. There she is. Ugh.
Babylicious.
That's my wife. I love her. Anyways, so my recommended right now, and we talked about this, and I know it's not your favorite ever. They just released season 2 of Series of Unfortunate Events.
Oh, I saw that. I was like, God damn it, Michaela's gonna want it.
Yes. So I recommend that.
Cool.
Because I love it.
I mean, I'm obviously gonna watch it.
I don't like it so far. I mean, I'm only like 1 episode in.
But you don't like it already?
It's not that I don't like it. They just have a different storytelling. And they're throwing in really weird jokes. Like, they threw in a Spice Girls joke.
What?
Yeah. So, it's not going to spoil anything, so I'm just going to talk about it. One of the guys who works for the operation, whatever, he's trying to break into a library. And the, like, main piece of shit girl that's at that school that they ended off at the academy, she says she's gonna tell on him. So he's like, okay, then tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Oh my God.
And then the girl's like, oh, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
You just made me real uncomfortable.
Exactly. So with the first really, really want, I was like, oh my God, fuck.
And then it continued.
And Sam was like,
I'm done.
That was a really bad joke. I was like, yeah, that was really bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, they throw in jokes like that, and it takes me out of it. But
so is that your recommendation? Or
I'll still recommend it. Okay. Oh yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, then I think we're done.
Yeah.
Our next episode is all about exorcisms. That's exciting. Oh, what are you saying for? It's your episode.
I know. I love exorcisms. I mean, I wouldn't want one done on me, but I like talking about them.
Definitely.
Yes.
A lot of my favorite horror movies are exorcism themed.
Mm-hmm. I like that paranormal shit.
That's cool.
Daemons.
Or what is it called in Scooby-Doo? Damon-ritis. Oh my god. Anywho, so our Patreon is up and running. You can find that at patreon.com/RAHM podcast, and you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, RAHM podcast. We post pretty much every day on all of it.
Yeah, at least multiple times.
Yeah, mostly on Instagram, but we post like interesting things, videos and stuff on Twitter and Facebook. You can follow our personal Instagrams. Mine is at @thekdub, and Michaela is at
Yes, that's it.
Interstellar Camper. I think we're done.
I think so.
Awesome. Thank you guys for listening.
Bye.